Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Pops and
Look at this. Pops and the Rican. The Pops and the Rican. What's the Pops and the Rican?
Look at the top of his head. Look at his head.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and Pops and Pops.
Am I here? Hello? Hello? I'm not. It says that we're live, but we're not doing anything, evidently. Oh, look! Wait! Oh,
What's up?
What's up?
man! You talk about technical difficulties,
Dude, it's worse than that.
It's like, quite honestly, it feels like I just had a hip replacement, and I don't know how to do anything with it.
Bro, it's ridiculous.
And I've never had a hip replacement. That's how uncomfortable this is making me feel. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, we're here.
Besides that,
We made it.
you know, it's we're cooking with gas now.
We're doing something.
So,
Yeah.
hey, I think the little thing says we're live, and so we should probably introduce ourselves. I'm Pops,
And I'm the Rican.
and that makes this the Pops and the
Rican show.
and the Rican show. Yeah.
Yep.
So, besides all of the crazy technical difficulty stuff, it's pretty exciting times right here
We are, bro.
at the Gutty's Comedy Club.
We are doing some exciting stuff, man. And I'm pretty stoked.
Well, I'm not only stoked, I'm old. So I'm oldly stoked.
Yes. You're athletes.
Okay, that too.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know if we've told everybody yet, because we've missed like a week or so of shows because we've been busy trying to get everything ready because, well, we have the 1 year anniversary of Gutty's coming up, not this weekend.
It sure is.
But next weekend.
Yeah, bro.
And we've been trying to get everything ready for that, and we've been trying to do shows in the meantime because we're open at 50% seating capacity, which quite honestly is a bit annoying because we have not had any sick people here. We should just open it up and then only allow people that aren't sick to come to the shows.
Yeah, but I'm still happy that we can.
Yeah, well,
be comfortable.
I know, but the other thing I was going to say, because we haven't really said anything, the wonderful governor of Indiana, and if you really like the guy, great. If you don't, okay, we're not going to talk politics.
Yeah,
because that'll get me in trouble. But he came out and made the announcement that Indiana is staying at 4.5.
Right.
It's like we're almost ready to open the doors for a little bit more.
Yep.
But we're not going to.
We're close.
We're real close. Psych. We're not going to.
Exactly.
And so we're still at 50% capacity, even with the holiday. I mean, not the holiday, the anniversary show, and even with this weekend's show, we should be open 100%. Because I had planned when we booked our guest for this weekend, I said, you know what? Let's have the full house. That'll be great. Let's bring Jeremy in for that, right? Because Jeremy promised he would have 150 followers for each show, so we'd have to go to 2 shows a night.
Put that pressure on him.
Well, I'm just saying, because, and I don't think it was Jeremy so much that did that, but he has this friend, Eric Radecki, who I think Eric was basically, he was doubling down, throwing down the gauntlet. Hey, what are you, a sissy or something? I mean, that wasn't very nice, Eric, but at the same time, we were like, okay, if you're going to bring 300 people to every show, like you say, or 400 like you promised, then we should probably have the full house availability, right? And then the governor came out and said, no, you're staying at 4.5. And I'm like,
we were waiting for that.
Anyway, the good news is we're open at 50% seating capacity, so we can do 40 people each show. And we do have some tickets available for both shows for this weekend with Jeremy Nunes. And it's going to be a fantastic time. I can just say it's going to be a fabulous time.
Dude, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask. I should have looked it up. But I got to ask how do you pronounce this?
I pronounce it Nunes.
Nunes. So you're saying Nunes. But I'm saying, I don't see the end, the little squiggly line over the end. That's usually an end, if you know Spanish. So,
well, since I'm not from
Nunes or Nunes, we're going to find out.
Since I'm not from Japan, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But I'm just going with how I know how to say it. Because that's how I say it. And if I say it wrong, what are you going to do to an 85-year-old man? I mean, come on.
What are you going to do?
At a certain point, 85-year-old people just get to do what they want and act the way they want, right?
I see.
So,
yep. That's you.
Anyway,
let's make it happen.
Let's have some fun then.
All right, let's bring them in. You ready? There he is.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Jeremy? Okay. First order of service. How you pronounce your last name?
So I heard you guys arguing about this. And you are not alone, because it's actually an argument in our own family. And the reason is because apparently my great-grandfather came here from Portugal. He had a C on the end of his last name. At that time, most people in the U.S. would not hire immigrants, so he couldn't get work. So he couldn't get the last name. So he changed it to an S. However, I've also heard it told by many Hispanic people tell me that the Portuguese last name actually ends with an S. So the debate continues. That's how it's said. So nonetheless, it's either Nunes, is it not oldness, but Nunes, or Nunes.
There it is. Nunes. Okay.
So according to an 85-year-old man I know, you guys are saying it wrong.
Right.
So you're gonna have to call the entire family, and I'm just.
Yeah, bro. Let it go. It's all you. Well, welcome to the show, Jeremy. We're glad that you're part of the Gutty connection here with the Pops and the Rican show. Excited about this weekend. And glad to have you on.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I noticed you got that cool face mask on the neck there. Do you sell those at the club?
Yep, we sure do.
We have
somebody that's interested.
We have the tubies that Steve has on. We also have another mask like this. So we have this Gutty's mask as well. And I don't know if you can hear through the mask, because that the mask changes my voice to make me sound like Robert Redford or a Portuguese Jeremy Nunes.
No.
I don't know. So anyway, we have a couple of different versions of Gutty masks, especially since the governor came out and told us we had to stay in this holding pattern, and then he made masks mandatory for anybody going out into public places. And so we let you know if you have to wear the mask, you might as well go in style and wear Gutty's wear. So Why not?
Exactly. So that's what we're rocking.
Absolutely. And I heard you guys talking about you never know how much intensity you want to give or how much you want to give back to your governor. It's kind of an interesting time. I don't know if I agree with that. I'll just take it.
Yeah, and I'll say, for the most part, I think our governor has done an okay job. The state of Indiana has fared a lot better than other states with all of this. And I think, quite honestly, I think he was ready to release the brakes, but there were enough people that were still shouting doom and gloom, and so he erred on the side of caution and kept us in the holding pattern. So my only complaint is that he holding pattern when I wanted us to get the full house so we could start really pushing shows and trying to build the crowd back to where we need to be. And so, it's, what are you going to do? It's not like Steve went out and did a science project and created COVID-19.
Nope. Nice try.
Well, and
Smart enough for that.
Actually, it's a nice advantage for you guys being in Indiana, in Illinois. We've got a record number of governors that have actually gone to jail. It's just kind of like one after another.
That's so true. Chi-Town's just shady. Anyway, yeah, bro.
Oh, well.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. Okay, let's talk a little bit about how it all started for you. Like, where did you pretty much jumped into comedy, and why? Why'd you get into it?
Well, I started in 2002, and that was back at the peak of the Whose Line Is It Anyway days, and being 6'6", and at the time with some, there we go, long sideburns, I had a big fandom for Ryan Stiles, and so my plan all along was to leave Springfield, go to Chicago, and work with the Second City up there, which is where he started out. But in the interim, I had a lot of friends here pushing me to do stand-up. So did stand-up here, and slowly developed in Springfield, Illinois, and then did move to Chicago. I spent 4 years up there doing the Second City and numerous clubs at night. Started with a lot of guys that you've heard of. We all kind of started the same core group of open mics with Hannibal Buress started with me, actually way back in college before Chicago. Michael Palisek, Andy Woodhull, all those guys were one core group of open micers back in the day.
That's what's up, man. That's really cool. I'm also from Chicago too as well. So Second City, I went a couple times, but I didn't stick with it. But super excited about Second City. I love going over there and hanging out. That was always great. Also, I believe it was Improv Olympics that I went there a few times too as well downtown. And I just was involved with a lot of sketch comedy down there too as well. And I did a lot of shows with Gorilla Tango Theater in downtown in Chicago too as well. So it was a great. It's always a great scene if you're into improv, sketch, and all that good stuff, especially stand up. I mean, Chicago is always going to be a good spot to be able to get your chops in. So I'm glad that finally got somebody from my stomping grounds to hang out with us here at Gutty's too as well. So it's pretty stoked. That's pretty cool that you started from there. And you're from there, so it's all good.
Yeah, actually, so I got started up there and did do the Improv Olympic as well. I was performed on stage there several times, and
Awesome.
And in the interim, I was about ready to go full time in comedy. And my family actually owns a trailer park in Springfield area, and my dad was pushing me to take over the trailer park in order to make tens of dollars. And I was like, yeah, I could make about that in comedy.
Right, exactly. Might as well just do comedy. It's all good. So, let's just go ahead. Outside of what you were able to do in Chicago as far as the comedy scene, Did you ever meet anyone that was able to give you some really good advice? Some good advice to just get you going. Talk a little bit about, what was the best advice you ever gotten from anyone that was in the comedy scene?
Well, I don't know. Have you ever crossed paths with Jim Wiggins? Does that name ring a bell at all?
Jim Wiggins sounds familiar, but no, I didn't really cross paths with him.
He was, they call him the comedy Yoda. He's since passed away, but he'd been doing comedy for years and years. And he always had little nuggets. I toured with him for a couple of years opening up for him, and he always had little nuggets. But one of the big ones was he always said, we all have our own impersonation of him too, but he always said, just have fun. If nobody in the audience is having fun, you're having fun, they'll have fun. So.
Advice.
Yeah.
It's just sage advice from an old. I say that to comics all the time. The number one rule is be funny. The second rule is have fun. If you're funny and you're having fun, the audience is going to have a great time.
Yep. Every time. Every time it's real. And that's what we preach here too. Every time it's real. And that's what we preach here too.
Sure. He was one of the really respected road dogs.
He was one of the really respected
and I can recall we had made our way through North Dakota, and we were on these bluffs, and I pull over so we can take a picture of these like scenic overview thing. And see, I'm 6'6". Jim Wiggins is maybe all of 5'2". Okay, and so we decide we're going to do this selfie on these bluffs. So he decides he's going to stand up on this curb that's right at the edge of the cliff to get in the frame. And as I snap the picture, he starts to fall back, and I catch him. And so I still have that photo. But when I caught him, he goes, "Oh, my life flashed before my eyes. Let me tell you, if I died on your watch, you'd never work again."
That's nice. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy.
So let me ask you this, Jeremy, when you look at this process, this journey that you have gone on through with comedy, from when you first decided to jump in and the open mics and the group of guys that you were there with to where you are today, what is, in your estimation, what has been the most difficult part of the journey, and what has been the most enjoyable part of the journey for you to transform from those early days to where you are today?
Well, what I find fun is actually kind of paying it forward. So as I mentioned, I worked with Jim Wiggins and like David Scott for years and years, and so many other guys that helped guide me and groom me along the way. And if you guys been on the road, it's kind of tradition that the headliner buys a meal for the feature. And I'd always ask what I can do back, and those guys would say, "You just pay it forward, because someday you'll be in this spot. You pay it forward when the time comes." And so now it really makes me happy to just kind of help guide the new guys and help them out and help them understand that guys have moments where they bomb, and a lot of guys want to quit right after that. And I thought, hey, even the best do. I won't mention names, but I've seen some really prominent guys in Zanies in Chicago, just crickets, It
is what it is. It's part of the game.
So you're talking about the hard parts. The hardest part for me, the most painful, is when you get thrown into a situation where you're like, I can already tell this is not going to go well. I got hired. This is actually in Indianapolis, of all places. I got hired to do this guy's birthday party like 10 years ago. And it was at some like trendy new Chinese buffet restaurant. And they have us in this back banquet room, but the restaurant begins getting so full that they start seating people in the back banquet room where the private event is supposed to be happening. And so much so that they have me standing with my back to like the main entryway, and behind me is like the main walkway corridor where the people are going to the buffet.
Oh no.
The row of tables in front of me is all people that are there for a birthday party that has nothing to do with why I'm there.
Oh,
and then
no.
way in the back of the room is the people I'm trying to entertain.
That's the worst.
So I tried to at least engage. I know I tried to engage the front row people and try to chat with them. One guy threw one finger salute to me. That guy gave me. They wanted no part.
Yeah, bro.
So I tried talking to the now the original group of people that hired me, and this old guy says to his wife who hired me, "I don't know why you hired him. You know I don't like comedians."
Nice. Oh, that's the perfect storm, bro. That is the perfect storm. Every comic has their weird moment where everything was just the worst. And I could tell you right now, all I got to say is one word to Dennis. I'll say Roscoe, and he'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because Roscoe, Illinois was the gig of all gigs, at least for me at the time, because I was so young in the game, and every element that you can expect in a gig was there, bro, from the lighting to the stage to the fact that I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I was afraid of my audience because everybody in the audience was like 80,000 years old. So I didn't think they were going to relate to any of my material. And Dennis was part of it. And he could tell you it was the worst. It was one of the worst ones.
The best part, I got to tell you this, Jeremy, the best part was there was there was Steve, myself, and one other comic. And so the first guy gets up, he does his 10 to 15 minutes. And we had just decided we were going to piggyback introductions. So Mike introduces Steve. Steve goes out. Mike sits down beside me, and I was like, "Hey, good job," And I said, "Oh, you got to listen to this because Steve's got this great bit." And I turn, and Steve's sitting beside me on the other side, and I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm done. I just introduced you. You better get out there." He was like, "Yeah." He said, all these grandpas and grandmas, they ain't getting me, so you got to go to introduce them. I was like, "Well, all righty then." So it was fun times were had by all.
Oh man, perfect. The perfect storm. It was great. It was great experience. I was super young in the game, and I appreciate Dennis gave me so much love at the time because I was new to the whole thing, and I did have my moments where everything was things worked out, but it just that gig alone is gonna forever haunt me. So I get how you feeling, bro, because every single element in that last gig you were at, from the separation of people to even the owner not even liking comedy at all. It's like, wow, how did that even happen? My agent is fired. Like, even if I'm firing myself at the time, those moments, man, are the best, man. They're the best because what we really do, let's just be honest, like, what's the worst that could actually happen? Yeah, people will probably say something like you suck or you're the worst or things like, he wasn't funny, which is like, a death sentence to some comics. They're like, well, he wasn't funny. So, I mean, that's the worst thing. I mean, other than, getting punched or beat up or jumped for being not funny, which is ridiculous to me. But other than that, I mean, the only time you're really going to deal with something like that is if they're serving alcohol and it's just belligerent people want to fight. That's just how it is. But outside of that, really, sure, we're in the game of making people laugh. And it's a mind game. It really is a mind game for comics because we're going to go into a room full of strangers and we're going to make them laugh. And chances are it might go good, it might go bad. It's a 50-50 chance that this could go really bad or go really good. And we go up there and we do it anyways. That's how crazy it is. We go up there, we do it anyways. And to be honest with you, man, if you get a few laughs here, you're doing your job. Yes, you want to kill, as they say in the comedy realm, but it's just, this is what we do. You know, it's just a matter of entertaining, going out there and making sure everybody's having a good time. And, you know, that's just an interesting thing to me when you step back, when you're able to zoom back and look at what comedy really is and what we do, you kind of go, oh, okay, it really wasn't that bad of a thing. Let's just go ahead and move on. Let's keep going. So it's just really cool to see your take and what you've gone through and to hear from other comics what they've experienced. So we had it up to you.
I can tell you the story. Thanks, man. Yeah, I can tell you the story. The first time I ever got paid. So this would have been back in 2002.
Yep.
And so this was a bar / pizza restaurant, okay? And so they had chicken wire in front of the stage, a la Blues Brothers, okay? So we got the chicken wire in front of the stage. Then I go up to do the show. Well, as you guys know, you've been around for a while. If you're doing a topic and the audience doesn't care for it, you just kind of move on and pick a new topic, right?
Right.
So when I first started, as we all do, I had 5 minutes and 5 minutes only. So if the topic wasn't working, I'm stuck, right?
Right.
So there was some fast food restaurant, I want to say KFC, that was starting to sell half gallons of fountain soda. And so I don't even remember exactly what I was saying, but I was like, who needs that? Even truckers who buy big amounts of fluid to drink wouldn't even buy that. And this guy in the back stands up. He's like, don't make fun of truckers. And I was like, well, I wasn't. So anyways, like I said, these truckers, and he stands up again, I said, don't make fun of truckers. So then his buddy kind of grabs him and settles him down. It's like, we're sorry. He just got off the road. We're sorry. And I was like, it's okay. Don't worry. Now, a normal comedian would have addressed it differently, but not me.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, so anyway, the truckers.
You just went right back in it. It's like, look, I got to get this joke. You know, so you got to understand the time it took me to get this joke.
Because I wanted him to understand I wasn't making fun of truckers. I have family members that are truckers, you know?
Right.
But he gets mad. He goes, that's it. And he stands up. He throws a beer bottle at the fence, which hits and falls down and breaks. And then other people in the room are now not happy. Okay. Now, simultaneously, I have to tell you, this is the first time I have done a paid show. So I'm so new. My buddy had come with me, and I had given him the keys to my car because I told him, hey, if things ever go crazy, you just pull my car around and I'll sneak out the back. Because we thought that's how comedy worked.
Right.
So
Exactly.
they're throwing stuff at me. So there happened to be a side door at the side of the stage that went to the back. So I run out the back door through the kitchen. I happen to hit this vat of pizza sauce, which goes all over me.
Oh, no.
I run out the back. Now my buddy has he's pulling up with the car. I see him. And now he sees red fluid all over me. He's like, oh, no, what'd they do to you? And I look down the alley where he's pulled up, and here comes this, like, mob of truckers.
They got it. Right.
So we pull off, we get away, and the best part, the owner, so I was emceeing that show, so they lost the MC for the night. But the owner still mailed me my $10.
I'm just saying, you still got paid, bro. You still got paid. That's
and
funny.
I still came back to do more.
So your buddy's out there and he sees you coming all bloodied up and he's like, man, I've heard of comics killing, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's crazy. Dude, I had one time I was at a family reunion, and at the time, this is when I was like, I didn't write any jokes. So I'm just going based off my friends tell me I'm funny, and my families tell me I'm funny. So I'm going off of that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm about to light this up. And it was at like a small little restaurant that they were able to rent out a little space. So everybody was there. And dude, the first line, right when I got up there, I didn't even know how to address the audience. That's how green I was. I just went up there and I was like, so what's up, everybody? Right? And they're like, okay. And then as soon as I said this first joke, I was like, I guess you need certificates to be able to work, I don't know, something on electricity. Ain't that right? Dude, it was the worst. It was the worst feeling because everybody in the audience was like, I'm funnier than you. The worst feeling is when everybody in the audience knows they're funnier than you. There's one dude in the audience looked like Bruce. So he was already just dogging me at the table. Everybody at the table, they're having their own show. And so I'm sitting here going like, what am I doing? I'm already getting sweat in my back, right? And I'm ready to just die. I'm ready to die. I'm like, I'm going to run into the traffic right now because I feel like the worst person in the world. And that feeling, you cannot, it's one thing to be like, okay, cool. I'm okay with how this is going. And maybe, I had an off day. But when you are like completely not just bombing, just straight, I mean, it's like every single thing you do, from your mannerisms to grabbing the mic to the clammy hands to the sweaty back to the not funny jokes at all. And you're looking at your best friend who asked you to do the show. And he's like, the whole time staring at you like, I hate you right now. I hate you right now. What happened? And dude, that feeling is the worst. But that right there shot me into comedy. Like, it really just woke me up. Like, dude, number one, get your game right. Go and do your homework by writing the daggone jokes. Put it on paper. Take the time to do it. Stop slacking. Because you got the goods as far as delivery. Because when you're with your friends and you got delivery down. Because you know how to do it. But there's still a science to the whole thing. Because obviously, why would there be instruction if it wasn't, if there wasn't a science to it? So for me, I had to jump from, okay, I'm not going to throw myself into traffic. I'm actually going to go home and write some jokes, like do the work to get to that place. And so that kind of leads me to this question. How do you get your jokes together? Like, did you learn a process? Did you put it on pen and paper? Are you old school like that? Or do you jump online? I'm kind of a little bit more of the new school. I go online and have my folders in order and I have stuff just lined up. I like to have a little bit more organization. How do you approach comedy when you write it?
So what's interesting in the very beginning, did we lose Pops, by the way?
Yeah, we lost him. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to run this real quick.
So when I first started, doing open mics and stuff, I had, numerous jokes written out in notebook pages. So then as the time grew that I was like, oh, well, people are starting to ask me to do half an hour sets now and feature. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, it's going to be hard for me to remember all these like individual jokes. So I wrote all my jokes on Post-it note cards. And then I remember putting them up on my wall and mm-hmm. shifting them around topic by topic. So like, okay, this one's about a job and this one's about dating, and and then so I had chunks at that point. So I had my dating chunk and my job chunk, et cetera, et cetera. And then so that's how it started. And then now, I still use the notebook and paper, type stuff out, and then like my longer bits, I have them typed out. And then after I do them, record them, and listen back, like, okay, that sentence wasn't necessary. So I use pen and scratch the line out. I don't even re-edit on the word or what.
Right.
So So I'm very old school, as that would go.
It's all good. I mean, because whatever works, right? It's really getting to the end point of taking what you've been able to write and practice it, because really that's where you really get, the whole experience. Is you got to be able to get on stage. So one of the biggest things is get on stage. No matter what you do, get as many times as you can. Now that we're in this pandemic, you got to find places, but we're open. So if you want to do it, tonight's Thursday night open mic nights here at Gutty. So we're open. So if you want to try out your clean comedy, you can, but try to find as many ways. And now this is another thing with this whole pandemic thing. It's pushed everybody to be more innovative. So it's like jump online. There's a lot of Zoom open mics now where you can jump on there. And it's not going to be the same, but at least you have a way somewhere to be able to do something and say it out loud and get a reaction, because you want to get that reaction from the crowd or whoever's watching, because then it's like, okay, I think I can get something out of this, or I think this might work, and you can start working from there. So I'm the same way. I like to get everything digitally out of my head first. Like I like to just pour it out and just type it out as much as I can. Don't worry about any kind of grammatical errors. Just get it all out, and then pretty much separate it all and see what the heck I was saying at the time, because some of this stuff was like, why did I put robot chickens and midgets? I don't understand. So it's like getting to where you want to get, right? And then saying it out loud is the biggest thing. So saying it so you can hear your voice and how you pretty much say it is a big deal. Then I go from that to like a piece of paper so I can write out the ideas of that joke, or at least a few words that kind of gets the joke running. And then what I like to do is I like to visualize. Yeah, it's all about method, right? I like to visualize each joke. So that way I have like just the story played out, because I'm more of a storyteller too as well when I'm up on stage. I'm not like set up punch. I like to storytell a little bit. And so I like to visualize what I'm about to say or what I'm doing, because it kind of sets the atmosphere, which leads to our improv background. I like to create the environment when I go up on stage. I like to set the environment when I go up. I like to make sure that I have command of the stage before I start anything, because it just makes me comfortable. And for me, I like to envision my family, because I love family. I love hanging out with family, and I love hanging out with my friends. So I like to create that environment. That makes me very comfortable. And when I get to that place where I can reach out to everybody that's in front of me, the guys that are in the front seats, I like to connect really quick, because then it makes me feel a lot comfortable, and I'm able to feel like, all right, I'm with my boys, I'm with my friends, and it kind of relaxes me, and I'm able to go into that scene, or go into those jokes. So I find it's true. It's so much easier to be able to write it out, because I think there's something that happens when you write it out and your mind is working. You're writing things out. You're putting it on a piece of paper, and then you have it memorized at the same time. So you're kind of like stacking it. You're not just going, all right, this is the line that I have. I'm going to go to the open mic and just see if I remember it. It's more like you got different layers to this thing, and now you're able to go up there with a little bit more confidence, because if you don't go up there with any confidence or conviction, then people are going to be like, you're bull. It's a bunch of bull. You're pulling a quick one on me. So without that conviction, it just feels like, oh, then you're just going up there to be,
Yeah.
All right,
and like you said, you just got to have a process, and the key is just to find ways to get on stage. You'll have an idea if it's funny, but you're not going to truly know unless you've been on stage doing it. And so, right now in these times, if you're one of the guys that just now, I understand if you are concerned and don't want to get out, cool. But if you're one of those guys that's like, there's nowhere to go, I'd go somewhere, but I can't. You're going to be the guy who finally does get back on stage and is sweating with the palms and the sweat coming down the face, and
exactly. You want to be ahead of the game. Sometimes I agree with you. If you're not comfortable, you have the right. Stay home, be safe. I get it. Everybody's got their take on what's happening. But at the same time, as a performer, as serious as it is being a comedian, you got to be ready at all times. So you got to be ready to start cooking. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you get experience and you stay hot. Meaning, like, I mean, if I'm not trying to go to the NBA. I'm not, but if I want to be good at basketball, you're going to be out in the court. You're going to be shooting.
Yeah.
You're going to take every chance you get. You're dribbling the ball, whatever it takes. It's the same way, in my opinion, when you approach stand-up and entertainment, you've got to be ready at all costs. So it means do everything that you can. Go get a mic stand, buy one, get a cord, and walk around in your living room practicing holding the mic, getting comfortable with being, almost as if creating that stage moment for yourself. Some people might be like, okay, that's kind of crazy, but to be honest with you, the more familiar you can get with those elements, a stool, a stand, a microphone cord, because sometimes cords get pulled, whatever. If you can come up and create that scenario for yourself, you'll be ahead of the game, at least in my opinion, because it'll be familiar. Because majority of all the places have a stand, have a stool, and have a stage, and you're able to do your comedy that way too as well. So it really is just a method of trying to figure out, okay, what's going to be the best way to run this. Now, the great thing about the fact that we lost Pops, well, it's not really great, but we lost Pop, and now I'm losing my lighting because now it looks like I'm in a shed somewhere trying to steal somebody's stuff. Especially I put my mask on. Now I really look shady, and I'm like, okay, but it's all good, man. And we setting it up, man. We're making it happen. So I appreciate you coming out and I know this is last minute, but I like to get everybody who watching us on Facebook and Gutty's TV on YouTube just to get familiar with the people that we like bringing into the club. I'm telling you, Gutty's has been even though through this pandemic, people have been supporting like crazy. And we are like so indebted to so many people because they love what we're doing. They've been invested time, money, and just support. And I like to just introduce to them who comes to the stage because it's all about quality. We like to bring quality to the stage. And introducing them to you is how I want to be able to at least say to everybody, look, we don't just mess around. We like bringing quality. We're all about bringing the serious in comedy, but yeah, at the same time, we like to have fun. So I wanted to introduce you to our audience and also, connect before you head out here and get here this weekend. So that way we can have some fun. I just wanted to be able to just introduce that. So I thank you for jumping on with us and trying this thing out, at least trying to get this thing rolling. Thanks for your time and all that good stuff. All that, just the good knowledge in comedy, man. I appreciate that.
Sure, man. I'm excited to be coming to Greenwood. I was talking to somebody a little earlier. I had to do a little digging to figure it out. But I've been to Greenwood 4 separate times prior to coming to see you guys. I was there twice at the old One-Liners.
Right. That's Dave Wilson's gig. Yeah, he had that for about 15 years. Yep.
And I had to talk to somebody before we came on today. I had to talk to somebody to figure out what club that was because I was just describing it. I was like, oh, there's a strip mall with an airplane on the top of it.
Yeah. Dude, it's so dope the way he had that set up. I mean, it really was an interesting sight to see, to be honest with you. I mean, I wasn't here when One-Liners was going on, but the stuff that I've heard and the photos and everything, we know Dave Wilson personally because he's just been at the club. And we've been, paying homage to him and just giving him time to be able to come and share his skills because he does like Santa Claus. He does stand-up comedy as Santa Claus. He does so much. It's ridiculous. The radio station, the guy has so much knowledge and he's so funny. We like to bring him from time to time to the club. And he told me the story about that. And it was just interesting how he just bought it. And they were like, oh, let's just throw that up on the top of the roof of the club as we're putting it together. I'm like, that's genius. That's really good because people will remember. Obviously, we're talking about it now, 15, 20 years later. And who could, forget that? So what we're trying to do here at Gutty is we got a red couch and we're trying to do the same thing. But it's not going to be like, I mean, the way he set it up was just perfect for One-Liners. So that's cool that you were there. What else? Where else did you perform in Greenwood?
There was a country club like right across the street from there.
I I want to say it was called the Cove or something like that. I think Brick House Coffee used to be on there. I don't know. Dennis would know. He would know exactly what spot that was if he was online, but he's not. So I think I know which one you're talking about. I think I know which one you're talking about there too.
I was there, and then
Jonathan Birds, I think. So
I don't know. It was a country club. It might have just been called Greenwood Country Club. Who knows?
Okay, probably.
But and then it was like a one-nighter bar. Well, after one-liners had closed, there was a bar trying to get things going, and stayed at just a top-notch hotel that you get on the one-nighter scene.
I know all about it, bro. Like the Red Roof Inn or something like that.
It was something. I was like, man, I wish I brought my gun.
Because these rats are killing me, brother. They're about to take my money. Man, them Chicago rats ain't no joke, bro. For real. City rats, bro. You can ride them bad boys to somewhere, dude.
Yeah.
Jump on there, grab a saddle, and be like, let's go. Them bad boys were sick.
Have you seen, they got the La Bambas? You seen La Bambas restaurant?
Yo.
We got La Bambas. Their motto is burritos as big as your head.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, you seen a Chicago rat?
Just like it, bro. Those things are scary. They should not be that big. All I'm saying is they should not be that big. There's something going on in the sewer, something going on in the city, bro. That was a trip. That was something that's very traumatizing growing up. For real. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but back in the 2010s-ish, when Ozigian was managing the White Sox and the Cubs, they were really having a rivalry. And one day he said, I don't want to go back to Wrigley anymore. There's rats everywhere. And all the Cub fans were like, yeah.
Right. And that's right. Exactly. Like, what are you trying to say, bro? Was that an insult? Was that a thing, bro? Come on, man. You have to come with it, GJ. What's up, man? Yeah, whatever. That's like nothing, bro. Rats are, it is what it is. It's part of everything.
Like, you saying you don't have rats at your stadium? You think you're better than us? Is that what?
And he's like, what's up? It's like, come on, bro. You know you have rats, bro.
Yeah.
You do. So don't even try it, man. It's all good, dude. What part of the city are you in right now?
Well, I'm back right outside of Springfield, Illinois now.
Okay, so you're back in Springfield. Well, when you were up there, where were you at? Like
I spent 2 years in Wrigleyville. That's when I first went there. Was just a big Cub fan and wanted to be by Wrigley. Yeah. And then the next 2 years I was in Lincoln Square, which is kind of Lawrence and Western, roughly.
Yep.
Spent 2 years there. Yeah.
I was up in California. I lived up in California in Division, Ashland Division. I was up in that area. North Side was just what it's. Go Cubs. It's 100%.
That's right, man.
Go Cubbies, go Bears. That's how it is, man.
Yeah.
My brothers are probably, they hate me, but the problem is I got two older brothers and they're Green Bay Packers fans, and I don't understand from the city, from Chicago, bro, and they're Packer fans to this day, and I just I pray for them, bro.
What I always say about that is, man, if you got no connection to Wisconsin,
come on, bro,
you're from this area, and you're a Packer fan, I got no room for you in my life.
I'm just saying. I can't denounce you because I love you suckers, but I can't be around you. I don't understand that whole thing. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But, everybody's entitled, right, to their own thing. I'm just saying, look, I'm from Chicago. This is who I rep. Now, the only time I was a fan of the Vikings because my pops and it was just a thing that growing up, it was like one of those memories things. I sit every Sunday. We watch the Bears and we watch the Vikings, and so Vikings was a thing. And I was like, okay, but I was always like, I'm from Chicago. It's where I'm from, so I gotta rep where I'm from. But that's just me. Some people are like, well, I can rep this, and I can rep that. Yes, you can. But you're from here. You should at least have some kind of ties to what's going on because you were born in the city. So don't even try to pull a quick one. So it is what it is. It's always going to be something that we're going to deal with. But, go Cubs, go Bears.
That's right.
Well, Jeremy, thanks again, man. I appreciate you, man, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. So if you haven't yet, jump online, guys. Check us out. You can download our mobile app and buy tickets there. You can also go online to Gutty'sComedyClub.com, buy tickets there for this weekend's show. It's going to be awesome. Come and check out Jeremy Nunes. So that way you can meet him, say what's up. If you're from the city, at least we got some people here to represent at Gutty's too as well. So come on through, check us out. It's gonna be a fun night. Jeremy, thank you again. We appreciate you, man. Looking forward to this show. Thanks for joining the Pops and Rican show, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, man. We'll see you soon.
No problem. All right, looks like Pops kind of like bailed out on me. So again, I want to let you guys know that we got this weekend. Download our mobile app. Make sure you go online, check us out. But also, I want to take this moment too, as well as the owner of Gutty's Comedy Club, to thank everybody that has been given to the club to help us keep the doors open. There's a lot going on right now that that we have to change some things, and so we're getting the show ready. We're getting the house ready, so that way you can at least break this whole craziness that's happening. And get away and escape, and let's have some fun, and let's laugh, because we need to laugh. So thank everybody. I want to thank everybody there that's been out there, that's been supporting Gutty's Comedy Club. I thank the guy who put this wall up. Look at these bricks. They're off. What is going on? They're fake. I want to thank him, whoever put it together. Thank you for putting the bricks. It's all good. Come on out. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time with Gutty's Comedy Club. Go online. Check us out. Come on through. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Hey, if they got a mask, if they don't have a mask, we got Gutty's Comedy Club tubies. We got masks. Just come on out and have a good time, man. I can't wait to see everybody and hang out. Thanks again. You guys have a good one. And usually we say, I'm Pops and I'm the Rican, and this has been the Pops and the Rican show. So thanks for coming out and hanging with us.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Rican.
Look at this. Pops and the Rican.
The Pops and the Rican.
What? The Pops and the Rican.
Look at the top of his head.
Pops and the Rican.